8 p.m. news on STV coming up. Persons plying the Bamenda-Douala Highway would, as from this August 1st to August 31st, visit other travel agencies. Guarantee Express, one of the prominent bus stations involved in this road network, has been slammed a 1-month suspension from the Ministry of Transport. Also, business operators in Boya reopened their shops after a 1-week closure from the Boya Council. Only these economic dons are not satisfied with sanctions reserved for persons who still respect the Monday ghost town. These and more in a moment. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for watching the 8 p.m. English newscast on STV, broadcasting live from Douala in Cameroon. Business operations have effectively resumed in Boya, as announced by Mayor Ekema Patrick Esunge. However, some business persons have expressed mixed feelings on sanctions awaiting persons who respect the Monday ghost town. Details with Clarissa Kowe.
Business persons in Boya have resumed with their various businesses this Wednesday, August 1st, after several shops were sealed for more than 1 week by the mayor of the Boya municipality, in line with the respect for ghost towns on Mondays. This comes after the release of a communique yesterday, July 31st, by the same mayor, granting clemency to economic operators whose shops were sealed. In this light, business persons have reacted differently.
They have really lost a lot. I've lost a lot. I cannot even calculate all the total estimates. Me and other businessmen greatly, because they have really missed their sales, they have missed their customers, missed everything, and shops have been closed for 1 week. So how is the person going to meet up now with taxes and bills, all his bills?
I don't feel happy because yesterday that I have to defend with my dress, but it was inside here I couldn't defend only because of my dress.
Starting up business on a day which coincides with the Keep Boya Clean Day, catching up with financial losses has been envisaged by some business persons as a hard nut to crack.
I feel very sad because I disappointed my customers. Some even had to take me to the police station because I couldn't give their addresses. So I'm not really happy at all. And again, I'm very late after midday today because today is Keep Boya Clean.
Some further express worries in line with the sanctions for the permanent closure of any business premises that will respect the call for ghost towns on Mondays as outlined in the communique.
People like us are pay a business license. In a situation like this, at least they don't supposed to shut down our shop. It's a private business. I have the right to secure my shop in case of any problem. So if this shop gets burned or everything happen on this shop, the government cannot, or the mayor of this Boya cannot do anything in my shop.
At the moment, Boya can be said to be fairly back to life as many hope for an uninterrupted business atmosphere in the town of legendary hospitality.
All Anglophone General Conference, Catholic Christians and Cameroonians as a whole have been cautioned to distinguish between the Catholic Church as a body and eminent Cardinal Tumi as an individual. The call is from Reverend Tatambui, spokespersons for the Catholic Church, ahead of the August All Anglophone General Conference. Lovett Bear, Ignacio Samabo.
Reacting to the Anglophone General Conference that has been convened in Boya on August 29 and 30th, an initiative of eminent Cardinal Tumi and others, Reverend Tatambui, spokesperson for the Catholic Church, has distanced the church from the said organization.
As far as I'm aware, the Catholic Church, either in the Bamenda Ecclesiastical Province or in the Cameroon, has not yet taken a stand about what Cardinal Tumi and others have said. Cardinal Tumi and the others, as you rightly say, are individuals, and they have taken a decision, something as individuals. You did hear the Cardinal say that that is his conviction.
Notwithstanding, he still believes the conference is a laudable initiative.
What Cardinal Tumi and the others have said is something which I think we should not get too emotional and forget to see the goodwill that is behind it. Can we evaluate how far we have gone, both the government and the people here? What has happened so far? Is this the way we want to go on? Can we change our strategy? Is there something that we are doing that can be changed? No people have ever just continued fighting without stopping at one moment to think.
Reverend Tatambui has also supported some of the appeals made by these men of God to the Cameroon government.
At least 3 things to me deserve all of us to give a thought to it. And the first is there is need for a ceasefire. People have been arrested in connection with this crisis. Whatever they did, when you want to solve a problem, there comes a point where you have a moratorium. In fact, it will show the magnanimity of the president, the head of state, for him to declare freedom and release the people who have been arrested, so that there is some atmosphere of goodness. This whole problem, no matter how many people we kill, in the end, we will come back to talk.
Despite all the reactions coming from the social media, the organizers still believe the conference will heal a wound.
Why the Muslim community pledges support to their imams who would take part in the upcoming AGC so long as dialogue is top on the agenda. Meantime, the imams are working on a letter to be sent to Cardinal Tumi before the conference, emphasizing on some major concerns. Lovette once again.
Still in connection with the upcoming Anglophone General Conference, Abdul Karim Ali, a Muslim scholar, says the Muslim community is strongly behind their imams.
Of course, Muslims would never go against their imams on issues like this. That document consists of the call to peace. So our imams would not see documents that consist of peace and wouldn't sign to it.
Being part of a conference that has to do with dialogue is simply respecting the Quran.
The Quran in particular has called for dialogue in chapter 3 of the Quran, verse 64, and in many places it has called for people to come to dialogue when there's a matter. And the content of the letter that was produced amongst these clergies and clerics shows that they want Southern Cameroonians, in essence, to sit and talk about the problem, so that they can prep themselves to a national dialogue if called for. So the imams are not saying that it would resolve the problem, but it's very logical that every dialogue starts from somewhere. There is a problem between two people in this country, Southern Cameroonians and the other side of the Mongo. And Southern Cameroonians want to sit and talk before meeting with the government. It's a logical thing to do.
The imam on their parts are presently working on a follow-up letter reiterating on some key points.
That they are insisting that the cardinal should insist to the government, since the cardinal is the one who called the shot in the first place, to release all Southern Cameroonians that are in the jails, so that they themselves can partake in such a meeting. Secondly, that the cardinal should reiterate and insist to the government that President Biya should grant general amnesty to all Southern Cameroonians who are on exile, so they can come as well and find themselves as part of the meeting, and also create room and an atmosphere for those in the bushes and in refugee camps to come back and partake, if truly it's an all Anglophone meeting. And that the cardinal should as well make sure that we don't have the presence of military in the name of security, that all Anglophones don't need military to discuss their problems.
Meantime, the Muslim community is hoping that the conference should be fruitful.
Of our lead stories, the doors of Guarantee Express have stayed closed this Wednesday here in Douala following a one-month suspension slammed on them by the Minister of Transport for a road accident last July 18 which claimed the life of one and left many others injured. John Paul Sama visited one of the agencies here in Douala and now reports.
Je suis venu acheter mon ticket de voyage, mais je n'ai pas pu voyager à cause de la suspension du ministre.
This man, just like other passengers of Guarantee Express, all woke up to the shocking news which they say is affecting their travel plans because he is used to traveling with this agency. But now he will have to start looking around for a new one. A consequence of a decision signed by the Minister of Transport suspending the activities of the said agency for a month as a result of the road accident which claimed the life of one with scores injured. Those in charge of the agency in Douala say this suspension comes with a lot of consequences.
The minister will think of the family Guarantees is caring for, people around who profits behind Guarantee. You see, for one person who died, the minister said 1 month, but we know other companies who have made accidents of more than 30 people. They are not giving them 1 month. Then it's a terrible situation. Should check and think of Cameroonians. This going back to school. People have to send their children to school without them working for 1 month. The minister, I don't know.
But that notwithstanding, they are respecting the decision.
Yeah, we are packed now. All our buses are packed. You see my colleagues, every person is around. You are for the hierarchy to tell us what to do. We are around.
The said suspension also saw the driving license of the concerned bus driver suspended for 12 months after investigations ruled that the July 18 accident along the Douala-Yaoundé road was caused by the non-respect of transport laid-down norms.
Well, the one-month sanctions meted on Guarantee Express falls within a series of measures instituted by government to curb the high rate of road accidents in the country. However, critics say these moves are timid and do not showcase a goodwill to solve the problem. Peter Sossi.
The recent suspension of Guarantee Express, an inter-urban transport agency by the Ministry of Transport, is the latest measure taken by government to end recurrent road accidents. Out of the 1,200 deaths recorded on the country's roads, the Ministry of Transport has identified that 70% of the cases are caused by human factors, 20% by the state of vehicles, and 10% by road conditions. Monday's sledgehammer follows a warning given to 640 transport agencies in June. The concerned agencies, Charité Voyage, Elegance du Noun, Alliance Voyage, Super Grand Mifi Plus Voyage, Faco Travelers and Botrans Voyage, in a communique were faulted for not meeting up prescribed standards despite several calls to order, and were warned to meet set conditions for them to operate. The call to order came after investigations in August last year, which concluded that 32 bus agencies were out of touch with the current transport realities. 1 year on, 26 of them are reported to have complied, while the others were found wanting as they have continued operating unabated. Critics lament that government has been sleeping in the face of the hemorrhage. Beyond the non-respect of collective conventions guiding the inter-urban transport sector, government has been slammed for failing to ensure the submission of the list of drivers of various bus agencies, which could have permitted a consistent follow-up of these companies. Lapses in the driver's license sector has also been identified, a situation which needs stricter controls.
Some 29 election observers in the city of Douala have benefited from a one-day training workshop organized by an NGO, Un Monde Avenir, on how to supervise the upcoming presidential polls. Henry Wana reports.
With the political frenzy high in the air, as Cameroonians gear up for the October 2018 presidential polls, civil society organizations involved in the political spectrum train are leaving no stone unturned to better prepare election observers to provide refined electoral reports free from discrimination. It explains why Un Monde Avenir, a civil society organization, convened a one-day training workshop in Douala to school the over 29 election observers on how to go about discharging their responsibility come October 7.
L'importance d'une formation comme celle-ci, surtout pour les jeunes, c'est déjà de prendre conscience.
The importance of such a training, especially to young election observers, is of great need. We cannot continue to criticize the Cameroon electoral process ignorantly. It is good to go down to the field and better understand how things happen. As independent election observers gathered here, we look forth to a promising end. According to the facilitator during the workshop on election matters, Dr. Hile Kamga, the training is timely and will help the electoral body better organize the elections hitch-free this year. The election observers have been encouraged not to only observe, take down notes and report, but to also give corrective instructions to the election officials in the course of the electoral process to help instill credibility in this year's presidential poll.
Internal crisis within PADEC following the move by its leader Jean de Dieu Momo to support President Paul Biya in the October 7 presidential elections has forced close to 20 members from the PADEC party to resign and join the Cameroon Renaissance movement, accusing Jean de Dieu Momo of betraying the party. More with Peter Sossi.
Days after Jean de Dieu Momo, president of PADEC, joins 19 other political parties to endorse the candidacy of incumbent Paul Biya for the 2018 presidential election, the vice president, 10 other executive members, and some comrades of the political movement are now part of the Cameroon Renaissance movement.
It's crystal clear even the newborn baby that has come to this world and is just a day old, we understand that there is no other political party in this country that has that will to move the country forward. MLC has the will to move the country forward. It has the force to move the country forward. And we think that it's not good for us to go to the team that will lose. It's better to join the winning team.
At an event in Douala to pledge their loyalty to the new movement, Silvanus Tifo, the former vice president of PADEC, grumbles that the decision of Jean de Dieu Momo remains a personal initiative with an exclusive interest from that of the party.
We have resigned from PADEC because the decision of the national president that he took on the 20th of July 2018 to support the candidacy of His Excellency Paul Biya for the 2018 presidential elections was not all that in norm with the democratic principles of our party. We want to say it was in total violation of the norms governing our party.
They strongly believe that their leader has also shown bad faith towards their wish to see him contest the October 7 presidential election.
After the elections were convened for the 7th of October, we had a meeting before the closing date of registration, which we asked him to present his candidature for the 2018 presidential elections, and he told us he was not really motivated.
And that they never at any point wanted the head of state to seek a return to office when the proposal was made.
At least 11 members of the national executive were there. 10 at most voted against supporting the candidature of Mr. Biya because we think that he's been in power for 35 good years, 36 years, and we've not seen any change in this country.
Jean de Dieu Momo in response says he is shocked by the move and has denied accusations of personal interest from his now former party comrades. The new converts have vowed to use their experience to propel the Cameroon Renaissance movement to victory in the October 7 presidential elections.
Away from politics, African women have been told to empower themselves by enrolling in organizations that help them in their daily lives to improve on educational and intellectual drives so as to be able to contribute to the development of the African continent. This was during the celebration of the Day of the African Woman, July 31st. John Paul Sama.
The African woman, just like her peers worldwide, needs to be schooled, trained, accompanied and integrated into this modern society so she can better work for the development of the continent. Reasons why a non-governmental organization called the Collective of Women for Environmental Protection and Children is doing her bit to ensure that she makes the African woman someone who can be productive and not only occupy the traditional role which women are relegated to.
L'action que je mène pour l'intégration de la femme africaine, c'est déjà, comme je l'ai dit tantôt,
the actions we carry out is to inform them on current issues and the different processes which gives women that sense of autonomy, be it financial, intellectual as well as material.
Son autonomisation tant financière, tant économique, intellectuelle et matérielle.
To ensure that this becomes a reality, they are carrying out all these activities through educational talks, seminars, and training them on revenue-generating activities so they can be able to do something on their own, which takes her out of the family cocoon.
De son environnement, de ménagère, de son environnement.
As Cameroonian women celebrate the Day of the African Woman, it is hoped that they will be able to fight against all these negative myths surrounding them in the African continent and occupy positions of responsibility.
Some women here in Douala have equally been schooled on the importance of natural remedies and how to use them for personal female hygiene and subsequent house accidents. This was at the Douala Gyneco-Obstetric and Pediatric Hospital Tuesday, July 31st, on the Day of the African Woman. The Société Métropolitaine d'Investissement de Douala, SMID, has recorded a 54% registration rate of potential subscribers into the shareholder scheme. The report, contained in a 5-page document, was released recently by the Douala City Council, promoter of the project. Harry Wana read through the report and now tells us.
A total of 5,414,790,000 francs is the amount collected by the Douala private company SMID which is an initiative by the Douala City Council in the creation of an enterprise to guarantee the financing of projects by the population, contrary to a 10 billion francs estimated budget to permit the institution begin operating. According to the authorities of the Investment Corporation, EDC, during a meeting on July 11 to assess the list of subscribers into the enterprise, examined over 2,353 files, gunning for over 541,479 shares in both the public and private sectors, thereby giving a percentage of 54, which is quite encouraging at this early stage of the takeoff process, while hoping more Cameroonians join the train in no distance time from now. However, the committee equally scrutinized and resolved that the private sector will enjoy the greater part of the cake with 67%, while the public and parapublic sectors got 33% of the shares. A constitutive General Assembly of the Commission is scheduled for August 17, 2018 to propose a concrete plan of action before work begins effectively.
We talk health in this newscast. Over 650 per-educators have been tasked with reaching out to about 700,000 youths in Cameroon in going for an HIV/AIDS test and, of course, checking their results. This was made known in Yaoundé today during the launch of the 16th AIDS-Free Holiday Edition, co-chaired by the Minister of Public Health and the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education. A sensitization campaign which began today will last for 3 weeks. President Paul Biya's Health Emergency Plan, Public Health Minister Andre Mamafuda has expressed satisfaction with the level of execution of construction works at the Betwa Regional Hospital. Andre Mamafuda visited the site Tuesday, July 31st, 2018, and the project will be delivered by March 2019. Darling Fujo.
17% is the execution rate of construction works of the Betwa Regional Hospital Center in the East Region.
We hope to complete major works by the end of September. I promised that by the end of October, the whole building should be covered, and probably February or March, we will deliver the work.
Visiting the construction site on Tuesday, the 31st of July 2018, to evaluate the evolution of the project, Andre Mamafuda, Minister of Public Health, praised the level of work so far, but urged the company in charge to speed up in order to meet deadlines.
And here we have a referral hospital of Garoua, where actually we reached the second floor. We think that in the end of October we will reach the state of roof, and it's possible in the beginning of 2019 to finish this beautiful hospital. It's a very, very important for that when the Hido State promise is realized. And that is a good example where each region will have a referral hospital, and inhabitants of this region will receive the best treatment, a quality treatment.
The doors of this Level 2 hospital center in the Cameroonian hospital pyramid, part of President Paul Biya's Health Emergency Plan, is expected to receive its first patients by March 2019.
Crutches, tricycles and white canes have been handed to some disabled persons in the Kumbatu municipality of Recent, that is in the southwest region of Cameroon. The gesture, according to officials of the council, is to assist these people in the running of their day-to-day activities. Daniela Neba, Marcelito.
Some persons living with disability in the Kumbatu municipality have benefited assistive devices such as tricycles, white canes and a pair of crutches from the Kumbatu Council. The handing over ceremony of these items took place on July 27 at the explanade of the Kumbatu Council. Addressing the conclave, the mayor of the Kumbatu Council, Martin Forcha Dubengang, noted that the donation falls within their appeal to the state for assistance.
We just donated some articles to people living with disabilities. We gave out 5 white canes and then 6 tricycles and a pair of crutches. This is in line with our appeal to the state for assistance. We had a credit card for 1,500,000 francs. That has cost us what we have given to people living with disabilities.
Mayor Dobenga noted that the only way to access these gifts is to register at the Divisional Delegation of Social Affairs and be a member of a vulnerable group in Kumbatu. He called on the recipients of these gifts to make good use of it in order to motivate the council to do more such that others have the opportunity to benefit from it. Beneficiaries on their part expressed joy. They thanked the council for coming to their assistance.
Because I can dictate something in my front. Because when I will be moving as I'm going like this, if there is something here in my front, this thing will knock the thing and I will. Or if there is even a hole, that when the stick go down like this, I will change the direction. So I'm very happy, I'm very pleased.
The representative of the Meme Divisional Delegate for Social Affairs on her part called on them to maintain and make good use of their assistive devices for their socio-economic and professional integration and development.
Let's get news out of Cameroon with VOA.
These days, teachers meet under trees in open fields so they can stay alert and run in case of an attack. The terrorist group Boko Haram is still an ever-present danger.
I was here in the town when they have come. So when they arrived, I was living with my mom and my dad at our environment. So we just hear a gunshot and we start running.
They eventually returned home here to Lassa, a historic town in the southern part of Borno State where signs of Boko Haram attacks are still visible. The teachers survey an aging school building. Maimuna Zubairu, who lost 3 of her uncles and her older brother, feels that the government has abandoned Lassa.
They're not doing much help. We here towards the villages, they don't take much action. Maybe because most of the people around here are Christian.
That's why Rebecca Gadzama and her husband co-founded a school and brought these teachers to help staff it. Their goal is to bring a quality education to an area where Boko Haram has virtually destroyed most government schools. It's part of their Education Must Continue initiative.
We are just private individuals, we're just good citizens, maybe good citizens or natives of this area. So we thought that we couldn't take them to start school in the government school because we were not sure when the government would start their school. So we just found this place.
Much of the government's financial support goes to the state capital, Maiduguri, more than 200 kilometers north of Lassa. This new housing complex in the Maiduguri area includes 200 new units. The mostly private-funded venture was commissioned for Boko Haram victims.
We hear about what is happening in northern Borno. Buildings are made, people are asked to go and, they are allocated to people. It doesn't look like there is government relevant presence in the situation in the rebuilding of this area.
Most of the kids at Rebecca's second school in the city of Yola are Christians from the area. She comes back to check on the students, many of whom are traumatized by what they have seen.
What area of mass is this?
Ibrahim Daniel and Chinda John say they want to be soldiers to get revenge on Boko Haram.
I like them to be a soldier because of anything that them do. I like to do for them. If me see him, me I go carry him outside. Me I go kill him. Me I go kill him.
The kids even play war games, with one side pretending to be soldiers and the other Boko Haram. Rebecca's hoping the school library will help heal the students' trauma. But having fun is also part of the healing process. Rebecca hopes to build more schools for kids to play, make friends, and learn skills to help them have a better future. Chika Odua for VOA News in Lassa, Nigeria.
Today's 8 p.m. English newscast on Spectrum Television has ended. Thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow is definitely another day.